Welcome to Let's Be Perfectly Queer, a queer podcast creating space to talk about all things queer. My name is Archie, and I've got a little bit of a bonus recap episode for you today.
Questions of how you identify, seeking answers to clarify. Whether you're queen
or somewhere in between, let's be perfectly queer.
So I'm all by myself today because it is just a little bit of a recap episode. So back in August 2023, we released this episode, Queer-Friendly Travel Destinations. The world has changed quite a bit since then, and I thought, why not just see how these countries have stacked up now? As I am recording this, it is January 2026, and here is the current list of the top 10 and the worst 10 places for LGBTQ plus folk to visit, according to SpartacusGayGuide.travel. Last time we used the Asher and Lyric resource, which I found a great resource, but unfortunately that hasn't been updated since 2023, so that's why we have had to use a bit of a different resource for this one today. It is also a little bit crazy to go back and listen to some of our earlier stuff, and I didn't realize how fast we actually did speak at the start of making this podcast, so I do apologize to anybody who did struggle to keep up and understand what we were saying. But anyway, let's get into this list. So these countries are marked according to the following factors. So anti-discrimination legislation, marriage, civil partnership, adoption, if it's allowed or not, transgender rights, intersex rights, equal age of consent, conversion therapy, LGBTQIA plus marketing, religious influence, HIV travel restrictions, anti-gay laws, homosexuality, whether it's illegal or not, pride being banned, censorship, locals, whether they are hostile or not towards the LGBTQ plus community, prosecution of LGBTQ plus individuals, murders, and death sentences. Here is the list of the unsafest from 10th spot to first spot. So we have Nigeria in the 10th spot. That is followed by Qatar, Russia, Uganda, Somalia, Chechnya, Afghanistan, Iran at number 3. We've got Saudi Arabia at number 2 and Yemen at number 1. Once I finish this little kind of intro, you'll be able to go back, recap, and hear how different things have changed in just a few years. And now let's look at the more positive list. Let's look at the safest countries from number 10 to number 1. So in the 10th spot is Switzerland, followed by Norway. Australia is sitting at number 8. Then we have New Zealand, Germany, Spain, Portugal at number 4. I think Portugal was number 4 last time as well. You'll have to keep listening and find out if I was correct or not. Number 3, we have Malta, and I'm pretty sure that was high up there as well. Iceland, and in the number 1 spot, drum roll, Canada. Well done, Canada. United Kingdom are sitting at number 15 on the list, and the USA are sitting at number 48, which puts them slightly into the yellow zone. There's kind of like a green zone, which means it's safe for the LGBTQ plus community based on the different factors that the website decided to kind of divide it into. And then you've got, so you got green is good, yellow is like, oh, be careful, and then red is not safe. Italy, which is interesting because Italy will be hosting the 2026 Gay Games this year, is also sitting in the yellow and is sitting at number 58 below the US, which I found quite interesting. Maybe if they start to update it, we might see a change again for next year's. There are several websites, by the way, like the one that I've used to get this information, but I like the amount of detail that this one went into ranking each country and why. It wasn't just they've ranked them, here's why, here's their score, and this is like a proper kind of ranking. Also, with this ranking, don't forget some cities can be LGBTQIA plus friendly sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes even when the laws of the country of the area are very anti-LGBTQ plus. But just remember to please, no matter what, do your research, check up-to-date official sources, and stay safe while traveling. And it's not just for LGBTQ plus listeners. For everybody around the world, make sure that you know the rules of the country and that you are staying safe. And according to Lonely Planet, these are the most LGBTQ plus friendly cities in the world to travel to as of April 2025. In number 10 spot is Amsterdam, Netherlands, followed by Toronto, Canada, followed by Sydney, Australia. I believe the last time we did this, Sydney was at number 1, but that was because we were hosting World Pride at the time, so I think that was kind of a little bit biased. Number 7 is Berlin, Germany. Number 6 is New York City, USA, and then number 5 is Barcelona. Number 4 is Puerto Vallarta in Mexico. Number 3 is Auckland, New Zealand. Number 2 is Provincetown, Massachusetts in USA. And then in the number 1 spot is London, England, or London, the United Kingdom, which, if you've been paying attention, I'm not sure would really be classified as one of the friendliest LGBTQ plus cities to visit, with everything that's going on in England with all of the transphobia and the bathroom bans and laws that are happening over there. So remember, that list is from a reporter who's done a little bit of an article, so it could be just their take on it without actually going to further detail. So take that as a grain of salt. Make sure you do your research and that you know that wherever you're traveling to is a safe place. But now it's time to rewind, go down memory lane and check out our previous episode from August 2023 and just see how things have changed since then. Let's go check out that episode right now. Now let's get on to our actual topic. So, queer-friendly travel destinations. Because we've been talking about travel and we're planning a trip at the end of the year, and it kind of got me thinking about where is safe and where is not safe, and that's why I thought I would look at this topic.
Yes.
So do you have a favourite travel or holiday memory you'd like to share before we get into the meaty, gritty bits?
No. I think my favorite place so far that I've been, and I've been to so many beautiful places. I've been very blessed to be in a position that I pay for travel through my life, through work. Not through work, but by working.
You work really hard for...
Yeah, by working and being able to support myself with travel, which has been great. I've been to so many bloody great places and I've really enjoyed them. I think the one that sticks in my mind most is Japan, where we're going back to soon. Not soon enough, but it's such a beautiful place and I love the richness of the culture. I love the beautiful scenery. I love that there's so much to do. There's just so much that I love there.
Yeah, it's beautiful and the culture is beautiful and the people are beautiful.
Yeah, I think that's my favourite memory.
And we'll make some more memories when we go.
Yay!
Yeah. Let's get on to this episode. So travelling while being part of the LGBT community can be difficult depending on where you go.
Yeah.
On today's episode, I'm going to share some of the top LGBTQIA plus friendly destinations. With this one, it was a hard one, okay? Because there were so many different articles, so many different journals, so many different resources that had the countries all in several different orders. So some people said these are the top 10, some people said these are the top 10. But these are the ones I'm talking about are the ones that were constantly popping up in all the articles.
Yeah, and of course there's going to be different things that make them part of the top 10 depending on like what author is actually writing it, as well as like a lot of different things. That's
exactly it. So from what point of view are they rating the top 10 and that kind of stuff? So if you had to pick the 5 countries you think would be the safest for LGBTQIA+, what would you say they were?
I would go Switzerland or the Netherlands. Germany. It's hard because there's so many different things that I've got to think about, because there's places that I enjoy going, but then you have to flip it on the flip side and be
about
like...
everything, like the laws and everything that's involved in all that stuff. Yeah.
Legislation as well as like recent changes. So there's like a lot of different things. I'd probably say Greenland, Iceland.
But you got a couple. Yeah. So the order varied depending on what website, but the 2 safest countries that were consistently in the top 4 were Malta and Canada.
You know what? I was going to say Canada, but it's so hard with Canada because it's proximity
so close to America, so you start to think about that.
You're like, I would say, but it's so hard to... Malta, though.
Yeah, I was surprised. According to Statista.com, so they're like a statistic website, they had the following order in the top 10. So at 10 was Iceland, 9 was Germany, 8 was New Zealand, 7 was Uruguay, 6 was Portugal, 5 was Denmark, 4 was Australia, 3 was Switzerland, 2 was Canada, and Malta was at number 1.
Oh, I got a fair few.
Yeah, you got a fair few. Well done.
You know, I was going to say New Zealand as well.
Yeah.
Because
of the cultural...
Yeah, exactly. And how much they embrace it. I mean, I probably should have just thought back to the last episode and be like, what places have had it for a long time? But not necessarily, because Thailand has had a history of gender
and then it goes back
diversity, and now it's like...
No, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
So then... This is the one I'm going to focus on. There was a 2022 study by journalists Lyric and Asher Ferguson, and it was also mentioned in Forbes, and this was their top 10 So at number 10, they had the United Kingdom. 9 was Belgium. 8 was Denmark. 7 was Spain. 6 was Portugal. Go Portugal, it's in there twice. 5 was Norway. 4 was Malta. 3 was the Netherlands, which you also said before. 2 was Sweden, and 1 was Canada.
Yeah. But I find it funny how sometimes you have random ones popped in there.
Yeah.
I think that like maybe a top 10 is a little bit difficult because there are a lot of countries that do a lot for the queer community. Belgium's nice
But we weren't in the top 10 of that one.
No, we weren't.
Yeah. So the list is based on 10 factors related to the LGBTQIA plus safety, including things like protection against discrimination, criminalization of violence, illegal same-sex relationships, and other factors like that. This team who conducted the study also reviewed individual laws of each country, and they worked out like a LGBTQIA safety index, and then they placed all the countries in order based on that, and the order that they've come up with reflects the most current information in this ever-changing world. So this was 2022. With 2023, it's probably changed again. And the website's really cool. It's like all linked out, and there's like a lot of visual stuff so you can actually see and where they rank and where they may have lost points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great for when you're traveling because now, again, we've got the greatest access to travel throughout time. And so it is something that you do have to consider, especially if you're in a queer relationship. I mean, be safe out there, guys.
Yeah. 100%.
It's one of those things that you don't want to be in another country and then be persecuted because, first of all, like you're not a citizen of that country and therefore it makes it more difficult when it comes to legal rights.
Yeah.
And also you just want to be safe.
Yeah. Just before you travel to a country, make sure you please do your research and make sure that is a safe place for you to go to.
Yeah. And we're not saying that it's right that there are countries out there that aren't safe. We're definitely not. I mean, it's the basis of our podcast. We're promoting safety and we're trying to get people more understanding out there.
Yeah, we're trying to educate people.
But it's the knowledge that there are a lot of places out there that aren't safe.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of Portugal. I would never have guessed it.
I would have never thought that. They are such a Catholic community and a Christian community.
Yeah.
And to be, I think they're literally ranked 6 in both of those different lists.
I mean,
and they were constantly coming up. We need to visit it because, I am half Portuguese. My family from a tiny little island called Madeira, where Cristiano Ronaldo is from. But
# related.
Right? Maybe. Who knows? But yeah, so it's nice to see Portugal come up twice in there as well.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have expected, but really liked it.
I was surprised. I was really surprised when I saw that. I was like, oh, wow, that's incredible.
Apart from that country, which other ones did you not expect to see in the top 10?
United Kingdom, just because of it's going quite backwards. So, but this was done in 2022, so I'm not sure.
The most recent Prime Minister.
So I was really, really surprised about that. I was also surprised about Malta. I had no idea.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about Malta.
No, either do I. So maybe that might be a place that we need to visit.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Where do you think Australia was in that list, number-wise? Could you guess a number? From 1 to 20? Maybe 1 to 50. No, 1 to 20.
Oh, God, you're making me think that we're really low.
No, so 1 to 20, where do we sit?
I think we'd probably be 13.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think we're not the best, but we're not the worst. But also, if you come to Perth, if you come to Australia and you're queer, I mean, you're not going to go to jail. You're generally not going to be persecuted on anything. I mean, with all of our laws, it's really safe.
Yeah.
There are a lot of places that are queer friendly, all that kind of stuff.
We had World Pride.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not like an unsafe place. I don't think we're the best in the world just because like sometimes there are people in the community who are just generally shit. But but I reckon 13, there's and people above us, people below us.
And like, for example, talking about people not really respecting the LGBT community, where I grew up in a small town, they're trying to do something for the queer community and it's got a lot of hate on Facebook. We're not the most open in all areas of Australia. So if you want to be safe in Australia, maybe stick to the cities.
Yeah, definitely. I also think that's to do with marketing though.
Yeah.
Have fun anywhere. I think you'll be fine.
Yeah. Australia fell at number 20 and the reason was because it's due to the criminalisation of violence laws and transgender rights vary by state. It's not Australia-wide.
Yeah.
So transgender people have better laws and protections and rights in certain states than others.
Yeah.
In WA, we are very behind with having to go to a whole board and all that kind of stuff. And so we've got a lot to go forward. And I think New Zealand just passed some really productive and forward laws to do with gender and changing a gender and stuff like that on paperwork and stuff. But yeah, so we received an A-, so it's not too bad. We could be a lot worse. So I thought that was
A-.
A-.
Thanks,
we went
teacher.
A+. Obviously Malta and no, but that's what the rating. It wasn't me. No.
I just assumed you were here know, a big
No,
like,
no.
we got 20 out of 100, A minus.
No, the country. It was actually rated on the website.
Oh, that's so
like
funny.
an A to like so. All the top 10, 20, 30, I think they're like, A plus, A minus, B plus, that kind of stuff.
Try again next
Yeah,
time.
so the worst countries rated, I think, like E and F.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Did you want to know the worst countries?
I feel like I already know the worst countries.
If you had to guess.
I don't want to.
Okay, that's right. You don't have to. But so at 11 was Yemen, 10 was Libya. 9,
we're talking about worst countries now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, good.
These are the worst countries.
Yeah.
So Libya, Sudan was 9. At 8 was Malaysia. 7 was UAE. 6 was Guyana, Guyana. So not Ghana, but Guyana. I've never heard of it. Malawi was 5. Kuwait was 4. Nigeria was 3. At second was Saudi Arabia. And the number 1 worst country to visit if you are LGBT is Brunei.
Oh, really? I had in my thoughts like Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
I was thinking just because the experience you get going through Dubai if you're queer presenting is not very good.
Yeah,
and don't go through Dubai if you're queer
if
presenting.
You are, so basically, if you are queer, I will say why Saudi Arabia's both the top 2 are not great is homosexual acts as interpreted by Sharia law can be punished by the death sentence.
Yeah.
Or 100 whips or 1 year banishment. So there's all different things.
Do they still actually whip people?
That was what was on the article. So, and it said floggings can occur for cross-dressing as well. So that's something you need to think about, the clothes that you're wearing as well when you are traveling. Even if you are heterosexual, you need to think about the clothes you're wearing.
And don't forget the places that you go through. Like it's
you
not
need to
just,
think about that.
Yeah, it's not just necessarily like your end destination. There are a lot of interconnecting places. Like for us, where we tend to go through is Dubai, as well as we go through
Malaysia.
Yeah, we go through KL.
Yeah.
The intersecting places where it's not like you change clothes after you get off the plane.
So the last time I was in Malaysia and I was just going from Japan, I was treated really, really badly by the staff when I was just asking for information. And this was when I was still presenting as female. They sent me on a wild goose chase when the place that I needed to go was like 100 meters away. And they sent me a 30-minute train ride away. And then some lovely local actually spoke everything and told me where to go. It was really disgusting, the way I was treated. You
can look up the issues that have happened through in Dubai airport and the disgusting treatment of women in general on multiple occasions. I've never felt so unsafe with how many times that I get picked out. And I'm not very interesting at all. I'm very lucky to be white. I'm very lucky to be just feminine presenting kind of person. But I literally was nearly strip searched because I had underwear in my bra. And I've never felt so much like I've never been strip searched in my life. Like I've never had to be pat down before. Yeah. And I understand I'm very lucky to be in a situation that I don't constantly get. I mean, I always get picked up for drugs because I accidentally smile at people, which as a standard is apparently bad. Yeah. But I've never felt so unsafe in that kind of concept.
Every single flight that I took over, say, for example, a 5-year course, every single time I was randomly drug searched. Every time I had my tattoos out.
Yeah.
So I find that interesting when it's randomly drug searched. But every time I had all my tattoos out, I was randomly tested for drugs. So I remember one of the last times I went like this, put my arms out. Sorry if you're listening. So I put both my arms out, my legs out, and the lady was like, "You've done this before?" And I said, "Yes." Every single time I said, "Do you profile?" And she's like, No, we don't profile." I'm like, "Cool," because the 3 men behind me also all have very visible tattoos. And she's like,
Yeah.
So I was just like, "Do you profile?" Because I just want to know. And then so the next time I tested it, I covered up, nothing.
Do you know what? I find that so funny. I mean, if you don't have tattoos are actually really expensive.
Right?
If you get good tattoos, like we should be the demographic who don't get searched. We don't have money to be spending on drugs. We've got other things and looking after a tattoo, oh my goodness. Yeah. It's a lot of responsibility.
The old stigmas and the myth busting of of the gang association and the drug association, like in 2023, come on, we've moved well past that. Even I was watching some Japanese documentary, like clips from documentaries and stuff where they were saying that they really love seeing it on foreigners. They think it's beautiful. But it's just when they see it on Japanese people is when they freak out because of the gang association. But they actually love seeing beautiful like cherry blossoms and the kanji written on foreigners. They think it's gorgeous and they admire it and they think it's beautiful. But, it's just those kind of things that are still
Do you know what? The crime junkie in me, as well as like just the crime person in me, always thinks that at least if my body gets cut up by a serial killer, then they can identify me.
That's true. Yeah, that'll be most of the body that they can identify.
I know, that's true. I'm not just going to be in some unknown Jane Doe out there that they'll be like, oh, hopefully they'll see enough.
Yeah.
This is where my brain goes because...
I've never thought about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, those kind of things. I mean, I'm not sure if it's my upbringing or just how it is, but like, you never feel safe as a woman.
No, that is very true. Since the 2022 update of the LGBTQ plus study, changes have occurred. So these changes have mostly been positive for the advancement of LGBTQ plus rights and protections. There were some negative going backwards disadvantage, but I didn't want to include them because I was like, there's enough negativity in the world at the moment. So some of the positive highlights include Cuba legalized same-sex marriage in September 2022. Go Cuba. While gay marriage is still banned in Japan, it is making progress towards the acceptance of same-sex marriage, and gay couples can now register a domestic partnership as of November 2022.
Yay!
Switzerland legalized same-sex marriage on July 1st, 2022. Singapore, Antigua, and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis decriminalized homosexuality in 2022. As of January 31st, 2023, same-sex marriage and adoption are fully legal in Slovenia. Croatia passed laws expanding the rights of same-sex couples to joint adoption in August 2022. In December 2022, the US Virgin Islands increased its discrimination protections for people based on their sexual identity and gender expression. And New Zealand plans to implement gender self-identification on June 15th, 2023.
Yay.
Oh, I wonder if that's happened. We should look that up. Yeah.
That'd be interesting. New Zealand does great things, though. I feel like it's always been that we see great things from New Zealand and then maybe 10 years later we'll see it. I mean, 5 years later we'll see it in Tasmania because Tasmania just seems more forward than everyone else.
I'm so surprised. I'm actually surprised about that.
Yeah, it's just bloody brilliant. So it's like New Zealand, and then we kind of see it in Tasmania, and then like the rest of the country,
Sydney and New South Wales and start, and then WA is always last.
Yeah, we're so far away from everyone else.
Yeah, so those were pretty much the stats and that. So, but there's a lot of different things, and I'm gonna put a lot of stuff in the show notes of different articles and resources for you guys. With Lonely Planet, so this was a 2023, and Lonely Planet is known as one of the most like travel guides. They have books, they have websites, that kind of thing. So they had a 2023 article that was March 7th, so pretty recent, not super recent, but pretty recent. And they had these cities as some of the safest for LGBTQIA plus travelers in the world. If you had to name number one, what do you think the safest city, not country, in the world for LGBTQIA plus people are?
Of the whole world?
Whole world.
I have no idea.
Well, they didn't actually have a ranking, but it's the first one they put, so I assumed it's the first one. We're just going to say for this item, Sydney, Australia, because of World Pride this year.
I'm like, boy, they got that shit wrong.
Yeah, so obviously because of that, if you were to guess
not even during World Pride, I would have thought it's the safest city in Australia.
No, but so
not that it's bad, but like,
yeah, but you still had a lot of like,
Lonely Planet. Sort out your resources.
Out of there, some of the cities they mentioned was Sydney, Australia, New York, Barcelona, Auckland, in New Zealand, Puerto Vallarta in Mexico, Amsterdam in the Netherlands, London in United Kingdom, Palm Springs, California, Toronto, Canada, Tel Aviv, Israel, Provincetown in Massachusetts, and Berlin, Germany. I wonder if an American wrote it, because a lot of those places in America, and what's happening in America right now?
I think the Lonely Planet needs to get their act together, because there are a lot of places on there that I'm like...
Yeah, I wouldn't agree with.
I'm like, Barcelona?
But see, the thing is...
Mexico?
I think this person's done like a Cliff Notes kind of thing, because when this person wrote the article, it's basically talking about the different massive pride events at those places, but it doesn't mean that those places are generally safest places to visit.
No, it doesn't. It really, it's got no association.
No.
Because when it comes to those pride events, generally they happen because one person's like, yeah, let's get this ball on the road because it will bring tourism and it'll bring money. There are so many other things when it comes to these events, like any other event, almost just even like the soccer.
Right.
That you bring it because you're thinking about the grand scheme of things. You're not actually thinking
You're thinking about what it's going to input into the economy and to tourism and travel and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, totally.
You're not always thinking about it, this is an amazing, safe place.
No, definitely not.
Because I know when I went to Sydney for Mardi Gras, I had glass bottles ditched at my head while I was walking home.
Yeah. Granted, hopefully that wasn't like it. And
I hope not. I hope that Sydney World Pride was a beautiful experience for the people who went over, but that was my experience of the one Mardi Gras that I went to.
Yeah. If I was to critique that, I would say I think that is not really relevant, and I don't think it's an in-depth it'd be interesting to see what they based around apart from just major pride events throughout the world.
In the articles, it only talked about the major pride events or the gay clubs that were there. It didn't actually look at anything like the laws or the discrimination or anything. So it's more like it's a superficial look at what seems to be safe, the safest cities. But it looks like, though, Toronto, because that was still in the list. So maybe if you want a safe LGBTQIA plus travel destination, go to Toronto in Canada.
Yeah, or just basically go to Portugal.
Yeah, or Portugal. Portugal's great too. It's been in or Malta. Who would have thought?
Yeah, or Malta. Absolutely.
So no matter what, make sure you do your research before visiting any country to find out the laws and also the clothing expectations and the cultural expectations of you so that you're always going to be safe.
And it's not just for the queer community. It's not just for the LGBTQIA plus community. It's for anybody. Like I remember Bali not too long ago was saying about how they don't condone people having relationships or having sex out of wedlock and that kind of stuff, and that was getting honed down on. So it's not just the queer community that need to be aware when they're traveling. Everyone does. Specifically, if you're a woman, you've got to be really careful when you're traveling as well.
And what you're wearing and the clothes and stuff.
Yeah, totally. So do your research before going places.
Yeah,
be
that's all you have to do.
educated.
Yeah, educate yourself before you travel anywhere. Know the laws, know what you need and how you're going to keep yourself safe.
And always take a photocopy of your passport.
Yes. What I do is I send those kind of stuff to a family member.
Yeah. I always send one to myself and have it in my email as well.
In the show notes, I'm going to link you to a website with some very useful information if you are LGBTQIA+, or even just if you want to know a bit more about the places. And it talks about the LGBTQ+ rights and travel safety. So on this website, there's things like LGBTQ+ safety guide, trans safety guide, marriage equality safety guide. There's a HIV travel guide, which actually links back to our last episode, so I thought that was interesting. There's also guides on different countries. So they give you guides on specific things. So there's articles and they talk about how to be safe and the expectations. So things like South Africa, Morocco, obviously with how dangerous it is to travel there as well. So Turkey, Thailand, Taiwan, Nepal, Japan, Israel, India, Hong Kong, Australia, New Zealand, and so many other countries. Like literally, and it's divided into like, is it European? Is it South America? All that kind of stuff. So if you are looking to travel and you are part of the LGBT community, you should really check out this resource. It is iglta.org, and I'll link that in the show notes and so that you can get all this information.
Very interesting, very relevant episode.
Yeah, so just remember, be safe when you're traveling. Thank you so much. I hope that you've got something out of this episode.
And in your comments on this episode, where's your favourite place in the world to travel and what's your best experiences with travel? We'd love to hear about them.
Or maybe some safety tips for certain countries that you've travelled to.
Yeah, totally.
That was a blast from the past. Thank you so much for listening to this little bonus episode. I finally did one because, I've been saying I might do one for a few seasons now, but I've finally done it. That was a bit of a bonus episode, just looking back at one of our previous episodes from a few years ago now. It's a little bit crazy to think that we are very soon coming up to season 4. Thanks for listening for the first time, if it is the first time you've ever checked out one of our little episodes. And a massive thank you to those of you who keep returning and are helping our little podcast grow. It means a lot to us. So thank you for staying with us for all these years. It really does mean a lot. I just wanted to quickly point out that in this episode, I mentioned how backwards the gender board of WA is, but those have changed. So it is great to look back and see that there has been improvements in the WA or the Western Australian space in terms of this outdated gender board thing that they used to have. So that's really, really cool to see. Made a little bit of progress. So thanks again. Thank you for listening. I hope you did enjoy this episode. If you did like this episode, don't forget you can rate, review, and subscribe on all major streaming platforms. It does mean a lot to us, and we really do appreciate when we get a little rate and a review and a subscription from you lovely listeners. And we also have a Patreon. So the Patreon, I think it's $1 USD, which is probably about $2 Australian. It's just a little to help support our show, and we would love you guys to be a part of it. So if you join the Patreon, you'll get access to Patreon exclusive discussions, competitions, and have your say on future episodes as well. Thank you for listening, and we'll be back soon with season 4 of Let's Be Perfectly Queer. Until next time, I hope that we have been perfectly queer.
Let's be perfectly queer.